Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for both leading with values and putting a human face on this moment. I want to thank Jay as well. Thank you to the Carpenters, as you said, putting the gang back together. I think this is third of the last 4 years we've been together signing landmark housing reforms, and that simply would not have happened without the Carpenters, not just the Northern California Carpenters led by Jay, but the remarkable leadership of Doug McCarron, who's really asserted himself in very powerful and meaningful ways and has had the back of a process, knowing that at the end of the day, we'd have the back of workers. And so I just want to thank all of you for being here on behalf of the Carpenters, because in so many ways we wouldn't be here without you. Before I wax on about the person to my left and the right, I want to just briefly make a few observations. In so many ways, we struggled over the course of the last many decades to reform our housing rules and regulations. That began to change, at least from my perspective, in a meaningful way in 2017, 2018. Where you started to see a series of reforms advanced by Senator Atkins, Senator Skinner, many other leaders in the Assembly and the Senate. We saw that leadership expand and grow with the extraordinary dynamism of Senator Wiener and his commitment and resolve to this issue, and Assemblywoman Buffy Wicks. Their resolve, their commitment to continue to do more is demonstrably and foundationally the reason that I can lay claim to having the privilege of affixing my signature to these particular bills today. Their tenacity has led to this moment, supported by those you see around me, and they're called to do more and be better. We recognize in California, as the Senator was saying, as he opened up the conversation today, the abuses of the CEQA process. I recall those abuses intimately as a member of the County Board of Supervisors in San Francisco, trying to expand bike lanes in San Francisco, only to see CEQA used against expanding environmental bike lanes in the city and county of San Francisco. That was not what I think CEQA was intended for. We've seen this abuse over and over again. We've fallen prey to litigation as a strategy, as delay as a strategy. And as a consequence of all of that, we have too much demand chasing too little supply. It's not complicated. This is Econ 101, supply-demand imbalance. I've said it before, I'll repeat it. This issue of housing explains more things in more ways on more days than any other issue to explain the challenges and the plight of so many Californians. So many of the challenges that ail us can be connected back to this issue. Unless we address this issue head on, we'll continue to be vexed by so many of these challenges as it relates to the challenges of the middle class and working folks, the issues of what's happening on our streets, in sidewalks. All of these things are foundationally and fundamentally connected. So that's why today is a big deal. This is, and I can humbly say this, as someone who's been a student of this and a practitioner of sorts in the last 6+ years, the most consequential housing reforms that we've seen in modern history in the state of California. Long overdue, absolutely. This budget that is connected to that is a budget that builds, and it is a point of pride to be able to advance these bills and what are promoted and promised. It's not just a housing package. It's also about infrastructure. It's also about the high-speed rail. Senator Wiener mentioned it's about child care facilities. It's about health care facilities. It's about broadband in the last mile, not just the middle mile. It's about getting things done. It's not just about homeowners that was referenced. It's also about renters, more than doubling the rent tax credit, almost 4xing it for those with dependency. Significant increase to the renters tax credit. It's about reforming permitting, Coastal Commission, getting in line again, the abuses that we've seen there with most other state agencies. Across the board, the spectrum of reforms that are in these two bills that I'm about to sign are transformative. And so I want to, again, just thank everybody for being here, and the Speaker and his commitment and resolve for being there throughout this process, being there late at night. I can attest to that. I think, turns out you were in the room when I was complimenting you, thank God, with the Speaker, to the Senate for stewarding this process, for allowing us to indulge in an extractive process of sorts. I'm not naive. I said this is a budget that builds because this is linked to the budget. Now, I may have signed a budget bill on Friday, but it means nothing unless these bills are signed tonight. And so that's why I want to extend one final point, and that's gratitude and appreciation to the leaders allowing for this process. To the Speaker and the Pro Tem, I am deeply mindful of what you must have gone through in terms of the quiet commentary. I've heard some publicly, but I can't imagine the quiet commentary from your members about this process. I heard a little bit at it on the floor today, and I recognize that. But this was too urgent. This was too important to play chance. It was too urgent, too important to allow the process to unfold as it has for the last generation, invariably falling prey to all kinds of pratfall. And I was too concerned that that would indeed occur again if we allowed this process to unfold in the traditional way. So I'm deeply mindful of what was asked of you and deeply grateful. The Senator, Assembly members, thank you for that indulgence as well. And thank you for your contributions as co-authors of this effort, for all of the nuances and amendments and reforms that are reflected in your authorship and your stewardship. To Miles, thank you. To the Ledge team for going toe-to-toe on VMT. Miles today. I was watching. To Christine Herrera, who's in absentia, Christine was masterful throughout this process. To former staffers that have been pounding me, Jason Elliott and others, on this process for some time. To the mayors out there that said, look, you're going to sue us with this housing accountability team. Give us the tools to get into compliance with the housing element. Give us the tools to meet our RHNA goals. To the NIMBY movement that's now being replaced by the YIMBY movement. Go YIMBYs. Thank you for your abundant mindset. It's a plug to Ezra. And it really is about abundance. And to the movement that they represent, which I think was reflected in the comments made a moment ago about getting big stuff done. The world we invented has been competing against us. We have got to perform. And if we can't address this issue, we're going to lose trust, and that's just the truth. And so this is so much bigger in many ways than the issue itself. It is about the reputation of not just Sacramento and legislative leadership and executive leadership, but the reputation of the state of California. And so our state of mind has been resolved. And with gratitude and deep respect to the extraordinary leaders, capital L leadership, assembled here today, I thank you, and it is my pleasure to sign these two important bills. Unless you have any objections.
No, please, sign.
Which one's yours?
That's the Assembly one.
This is, you're interested in that one?
Yeah.
It's thicker, I'll sign it.
We're a rowdier bunch.
You are a rowdier bunch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm surprised this one's not as thick as that one with all the amendments.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet.
It's a simple bill.